Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
An open or empty space in or between things. There was a small opening between the trees. A recognized sequence of moves at the beginning of a game of chess. He memorized all the important chess openings. An aperture or hole that opens into a bodily cavity. A possible alternative. An entrance equipped with a hatch, especially a passageway between decks of a ship. The first of a series of actions. The first performance, as of a theatrical production. The opening received good critical reviews. A ceremony accompanying the start of some enterprise. A vacant or unobstructed space that is man-made. They left a small opening for the cat at the bottom of the door. Becoming open or being made open. The opening of his arms was the sign I was waiting for. First or beginning. The memorable opening bars of Beethoven's Fifth. Opportunity especially for employment or promotion. There is an opening in the sales department. The act of opening something. The ray of light revealed his cautious opening of the door. The initial part of the introduction. The opening established the basic theme. An act of delaying or interrupting the continuity. There was a gap in his account. An open or empty space in or between things. The explosion made a gap in the wall. A narrow opening. A conspicuous disparity or difference as between two figures. Gap between income and outgo. A pass between mountain peaks. Make an opening or gap in. A difference, especially an unfortunate difference, between two opinions or two views or two situations. A recognized sequence of moves at the beginning of a game of chess. He memorized all the important chess openings. An aperture or hole that opens into a bodily cavity. The orifice into the aorta from the lower left chamber of the heart. An aperture or hole that opens into a bodily cavity. A tentative insight into the natural world. A concept that is not yet verified but that if true would explain certain facts or phenomena. Capability of existing or happening or being true. There is a possibility that his sense of smell has been impaired. A possible alternative. Bankruptcy is always a possibility. A future prospect or potential. A possible alternative. An entrance equipped with a hatch, especially a passageway between decks of a ship. Container for coal, shaped to permit pouring the coal onto the fire. To move about or proceed hurriedly. An entrance equipped with a hatch, especially a passageway between decks of a ship. The first of a series of actions. Serving to set in motion. The initiative phase in the negotiations. Readiness to embark on bold new ventures. The first of a series of actions. The first of a series of actions. The first performance, as of a theatrical production. The first performance, as of a theatrical production. Serving to set in motion. An initiatory step toward a treaty. A turn to be a starter, in a game at the beginning. His starting meant that the coach thought he was one of their best linemen. appropriate to the beginning or start of an event. The starting point. Especially of eyes, bulging or protruding as with fear. With eyes starting from their sockets. Serving to set in motion. His first, or maiden, speech in Congress. Cricket, an over in which no runs are scored. An unmarried girl, especially a virgin. Serving as a base or starting point. An introductory art course. Serving as an introduction or preface. Serving to open or begin. Began the slideshow with some introductory remarks. Serving to begin. The beginning canto of the poem. The time at which something is supposed to begin. The place where something begins, where it springs into being. The Italian beginning of the Renaissance. The act of starting something. He was responsible for the beginning of negotiations. The event consisting of the start of something. The beginning of the war. The first part or section of something. It was a dark and stormy night, is a hackneyed beginning for a story. The fielding position of the player on a baseball team who is stationed at first of the bases in the infield, counting counterclockwise from home plate. Indicating the beginning unit in a series. Serving to set in motion. His first, or maiden, speech in Congress. Serving to begin. The first verse. The time at which something is supposed to begin. Ranking above all others. Was first in her class. Prominently forward. The lowest forward gear ratio in the gearbox of a motor vehicle, used to start a car moving. The first element in a countable series. The first of the month. Before anything else. First we must consider the garter snake. The first or highest in an ordering or series. He wanted to be the first. An honors degree of the highest class. Highest in pitch or chief among parts or voices or instruments or orchestra sections. First soprano. Preceding all others in time or space or degree. The first house on the right. Serving to set in motion. The magazine's inaugural issue. An address delivered at an inaugural ceremony, especially by a United States president. The ceremonial induction into a position. Occurring at or characteristic of a formal investiture or induction. The president's inaugural address. Printing. A block of type without a raised letter, used for spacing between words or sentences. The unlimited expanse in which everything is located. They tested his ability to locate objects in space. The interval between two times. It all happened in the space of 10 minutes. Any location outside the Earth's atmosphere. The astronauts walked in outer space without a tether. A blank character used to separate successive words in writing or printing. He said the space is the most important character in the alphabet. A blank area. Write your name in the space provided. An area reserved for some particular purpose. The laboratory's floor space. An empty area, usually bounded in some way between things. The architect left space in front of the building. One of the areas between or below or above the lines of a musical staff. The spaces are the notes face. Place at intervals. Film consisting of a succession of related shots that develop a given subject in a movie. A following of one thing after another in time. The doctor saw a sequence of patients. The action of following in order. He played the trumps in sequence. Arrange in a sequence. Determine the order of constituents in. They sequenced the human genome. Serial arrangement in which things follow in logical order or a recurrent pattern. The sequence of names was alphabetical. Several repetitions of a melodic phrase in different keys. A following of one thing after another in time. Acquisition of property by descent or by will. The action of following in order. Ecology. The gradual and orderly process of change in an ecosystem brought about by the progressive replacement of one community by another until a stable climax is established. A group of people or things arranged or following in order. A succession of stalls offering soft drinks. The passing of a law by a legislative body. A bodily reaction of changing from one place or stage to another. The passage of air from the lungs. The act of passing from one state or place to the next. A journey usually by ship. The outward passage took 10 days. A short section of a musical composition. The motion of one object relative to another. A path or channel or duct through or along which something may pass. The nasal passages. The act of passing something to another person. A section of text, particularly a section of medium length. A way through or along which someone or something may pass. A path or channel or duct through or along which something may pass. A passage between rooms or between buildings. Serving or used in place of another. An alternative plan. One of a number of things from which only one can be chosen. There is no other alternative. Necessitating a choice between mutually exclusive possibilities. Alternative possibilities were neutrality or war. Pertaining to unconventional choices. An alternative lifestyle. The act of choosing or selecting. One of a number of things from which only one can be chosen. What option did I have? The right to buy or sell property at an agreed price. The right is purchased, and if it is not exercised by a stated date, the money is forfeited. The person or thing chosen or selected. The act of choosing or selecting. Your choice of colors was unfortunate. One of a number of things from which only one can be chosen. My only choice is to refuse. Of superior grade. Choice wines. Appealing to refined taste. Choice wine. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. The right to enter. The principal dish of a meal. An entrance, especially a theatrical entrance onto a stage or as if onto a stage. She made a graceful entree into the ballroom. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. Beggars waited just outside the entryway to the cathedral.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.